With the news on the floor.
Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Cause I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm not gonna get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, square like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration.
Right, welcome back, everybody. Round two. Technology is technology in today. So happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for tuning in to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, on the Bravo with Sheila Network. Oh, what a day we have had. What a day it has been. But nonetheless, we are conquerors and we are here and we are ready. Life be life and it happens. So I just got to take a minute, pause, breathe, reflect, and we'll be all right. So thank you for tuning in with us. I'm just trying to send out a new link so that we can get the good peoples in the building on this evening. So thank you for bearing with us through the little technical difficulty that we just had. But hey, life happens and we're here, right? So we are good. We are good. So again, welcome to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, on the Bravo with Sheila Network. We thank you for tuning in and joining us. Every time we have this must be an impactful conversation that we're going to have on tonight, because it seems that that's when, things start happening. But nonetheless, we are here and on our post. So salute to the Queen Bee of the Bravo with Sheila Network, my Auntie Bravo. You know her as Pastor Sheila Ingram. I am so happy and grateful for her. And we give her a big bravo salute, Auntie. Thank you for allowing me to share this space on tonight. I see y'all now. I see you. Excuse me. I see you. So just want to greet you on tonight. Hey, the Intellectual Soapbox. Thank you for tuning in and joining. Good to see you. And the moderator of all moderators in these two streets, DNA Kenya, is in the building. And say, hey, Lady Deshawn, she is in the house. I'm going to bring her up. Matter of fact, I ain't even going to waste no time. I'm just going to bring her up right now. Why? Because it is ladies' night. It is the ladies' room. Hey, Lady Deshawn, so glad you are here. We got Dr. ND in the building too. I'm going to bring her right up because we lost a little bit of time, but that's all right. We're going to have a good conversation. We're going to get it in where we fit it in. And we see that Pastor Chris, a.k.a. The Psalmist Voice, is in the building. That's right. Yeah, back. Let's go. So glad you all joined us on tonight and want to thank you for being here as always. Thank you. Invite a friend, like, subscribe, and share. And for those of you who are up in the silent section, I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, come on down to the front. We got a seat for you reserved right by us. I promise you it is safe. No one's going to get you. We have security in this place. So, as always, before we start our wonderful conversation on tonight. Few disclaimers, house rules. Here we respect everybody's thoughts, opinions, and feelings, and we ask that everyone is respectful to one another in that manner in the comments. We're not here to argue, to convict, nor convince. We are here to have discussion so that we can glean from one another. We are here to have real talk with real resolutions. I would say to an extent, none of us are experts, but we're all speaking from our experience, although some of us are experts in particular areas. But we just want to have great conversation. Is that all right? I hope so. That's what we doing. We got this. We got this on tonight. So again, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, meet us in the comment section. Say hello so that we can greet you properly. So tonight, it's been a minute since we've had just the ladies. And so tonight it's good to be back in the ladies' room. How you doing tonight, Lady Deshawn?
Good evening, sis. So happy to be back. I feel like I haven't been here in months. Good.
I know.
I'm excited about tonight.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And hey, Dr. ND in the building. How are you, sis? I know you multitasking while you gathering. Hope you are well. I know it's been a long time. And she's coming. She's coming.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
I don't know what happened. My screen is black. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, your box is black, but we can hear you though. That's the most. If we can't see you, we need to hear your voice. Although we love to see the beautiful face too.
I know. I don't know what's happening, but okay.
It's just that kind of night. But you know what? We're going to press on anyway. That's all right. You're going to pop up. We're going to see you. I'm just glad that you are here. And also we have my kin, Anitra, a.k.a. the Ace Perspective, in the building. She is a part of the Ladies Room Squad. Also, she's not feeling well tonight, so y'all send up a little timber, a little prayer for her when you can. But she is in these good comments on tonight. And while we are at it, again, the Bravo with Sheila Network, while it is not a Christian network on this side of the street, as I always say, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus when you get me, along with the other ladies. Now, again, we do respect everyone's feelings, perspective, and moral compass, and we just come to have a great conversation. But if you do need a good word, a good prayer, a good bit of encouragement, you can go right across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. And over there, you got good word 7 days a week. You even got some good word over here sometimes. Sometimes you might dip a little bit, bring you a little something, a little Jesus, a little God on this side of the street. But we have it all. So I ask you to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're really enjoying the conversation, don't hold back. Drop a super chat. We will stop and acknowledge you. That's right. You can support us in that way as well. So want to get into this good conversation on tonight. Tonight with the ladies' room, considering the state that we are in the world right now. This is an African proverb that we're going to be talking about tonight. And it was something actually that was, it's not a repeat conversation, but it's actually something that Pastor Sheila and I had talked about maybe 2 years ago. And I thought about the times that we live in when it popped up on my memory timeline. I thought how appropriate, considering, again, just the times that we're in and the things that are going on politically as well as socially. So tonight, our topic for the ladies' room is when sleeping women wake, mountains move. And again, that is an African proverb that she brought to my attention about 2 years ago. And I thought it was really a profound one and something that we should dig into. Again, if you look at socially what we are going through, there are attacks that are going on directed towards women. You find that women are standing up in different ways nowadays and having to protect ourselves or guard ourselves in manners as to which we maybe did not previously in prior times. If you're watching the news, there was a story of a young woman, I will say, who was shot by police. His name is Sonia Massey, in her home. Didn't do anything violent, wasn't a threat. But these are the things that are going on. And basically, according to the news, and I don't want to misquote, she was calling on the name of Jesus. But these are the things and the times that we're living in. And for women, while we have come a long way, we're finding ourselves in different positions now, having to defend ourselves in different areas that maybe we did not have to before. We're having to consider ourselves in different roles that we may not have to have thought about before, and protecting ourselves in different ways that we maybe didn't previously. Also, the major thing is, Kamala Harris being, first of all, who would have ever thought we would see the day when a Black woman would be in the White House in this office of vice president and now running for presidency. So just the way the times have changed, just the positions that women have now been put in, from a time when we had no voice, we had no rights, we did not, or we're not allowed in a sense to explore our passions and our dreams, to becoming CEOs, owners of companies, entrepreneurs, millionaires, and now becoming a key part of politics, possibly getting ready to run the country. So I wanted to talk about that because I hope it's inspirational to you and eye-opening to you as women and men, but as women, because when sleeping women wake, mountains move. I started thinking about, what if she had never taken the steps to be the prosecutor that she is, or that she was? What if she had never broken through different barriers in race and in politics, in law? I'm sure she had to defy many, many odds, just as we do. But we have to stop discounting these small steps that we have to take, or the small steps that we take, because one small step leads to something greater. So I want to pause there, and I want to ask Lady Deshawn and Dr. ND when she's able. I'm going to start with Lady Deshawn. When you heard this proverb and when you read it, what was your initial thoughts on it?
When I read this initially, I was like, "Oh, where is this going?" I was looking for a video, right? But then I started to think that how often do we sleep on ourselves, right? We get caught up in the routines of life and just get complacent with what becomes normal for us, that as women, you forget about your dreams, you forget about your aspirations. I asked my aunt one day, we were talking about a workbook that we were working on about healing, and the question in the workbook asked, what are your dreams, your desires, and the things that you gave up on long ago? And she was like, I don't know. I can't remember what I want and what I desire. I said, well, as a little kid, what did you say you wanted to be when you grow up? Every little kid thinks about what you want to be when you grow up. And she said, I don't know. I'm a wife. And that is what I thought about when I read this, because we so often we sleep on ourselves and we don't realize the greatness that we have within us. And we don't even try to tap into it sometimes because we get stuck and complacent with where we are, what we see, the people that are around us, because we don't see forward momentum in our own circles, immediate circles, that we don't push to be greater because we don't have anyone pushing us.
Right.
And right. It made me think about what we could really do if we tapped into that.
Yeah. And that is key. And I love everything that you said, because we do so often sleep on ourselves. It's funny how culture, when we change the sayings, people like, don't sleep on me, we'll tell somebody that in a heartbeat. But like you said, how often are we sleeping on ourselves? And it's always in that terminology of what sleeping on us is, or sleeping on is when you are unassuming, when you are assuming someone can't do, when you don't believe that they have the ability. And within ourselves, we sleep on ourselves in the fact that when we become unaware and unattentive to the things that are within us, when we do not acknowledge them, when we just brush them off like they're small and minuscule and they don't matter. But those things matter and make a difference. The very thing that you are brushing off, like you're saying, the very thing that you're discounting, very thing that you're thinking you don't want to do or you can't do or that's silly is actually the very thing that 9 times out of 10 or maybe 8 out of 10 is actually so powerful and so needed and so necessary and it's going to be so impactful. But we sleep on ourselves. We talk ourselves out of so many things. But women have risen up. There are women who have risen up that have set footprints for us to follow in, that have opened many doors. Could you imagine where we would be had they stayed asleep on themselves? And now it's our turn. But many of us are afraid to go and do against the grain. And one thing I had to tell my pastor, my spiritual mom, I believe she's amazing. There's nothing she can't do. She does so many things. And I tell her all the time, you know, thank you for going first, but know that you're not going alone. So I want to tell it to somebody tonight, don't sleep on yourself. It's okay to be the first, but know that you're not the only and you're not going to go alone. Whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you're about to do that you're afraid to do, you know, there will be others that come behind you. There's some that are going to walk with you, but we got to take that first step. Everybody's taking the first step somewhere. So you're not the only one taking the first step, but we got to wake up to the things within us. So Dr. ND, I don't know, are you good to speak? I want you to share on tonight on your thoughts when you first heard and saw our topic for tonight, if you can. All right, she still might be working out her technical difficulties. And ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to put in the chat. Let's be interactive on tonight. We want y'all to do all the talking. We want y'all to talk back to us. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing on tonight. We want to know what your thoughts are. What does it mean to you when you hear the phrase, when sleeping women wake, mountains move? Let me ask you this, Deshaun. What do you think happens when we're silent? Or what have you experienced when you've been silent?
When I'm silent, there's peace. There's peace when I'm silent. No, but honestly, being silent, I can't say that I've ever been in that space where I've just been silent. However, God is bringing me to a space where I'm learning to be silent, and silence is powerful. I think I had it confused in my younger years. You know, I had to tell everybody where to go, how to get there, how you made me feel, how you not gonna handle me, you know, and gave it all to him, all saw it all day. Fire and salt. And now I'm realizing that my silence has more power than me telling you about the hell you could go to for bothering me and getting on my nerves. You know, it's powerful because it shows your strength. It takes way more strength to be silent and hold your peace and let your presence be your power than it does to just go off the handle on somebody. It takes more for you to stand there and still speak kind words and be positive in a situation and still, catch this, show love when you really want to curse and fight and you're ready to throw hands. It takes more to do that. And once you can master that part, I think you could take on the world. Once you can master your silence and the power that it holds, you could take on anything. That's a part of all of our process. It is getting to the point where we understand that where I am now is a stepping stone to get me to where I need to be. When we sit in silence, not only does it show power in being silent, but it also shows self-control or when you need to speak. And when you're in those situations that you need to speak and your voice needs to be heard, other people are encouraged. Other people are motivated to do more and to step forward. It's just like we say in Kingdom, your testimony is to help somebody else. It's not for you. It's for you to help somebody else make it through the darkness and help them through their walk and their journey with Christ. It's the same thing in the secular. You know, everything that you experience in life is to help somebody else. When you speak up and you talk about what you've dealt with and what you've gone through, it's going to help somebody under you. It's going to help somebody that's coming up behind you. You're going, hey, sis, there she goes. You're going to open up a door for somebody else. If Kamala never took the steps, be it uncomfortable, be it whether it felt good or not, how hard it was, if she never took the steps, how many young girls would look at her now and say, I could be the president one day? She's not even president, but yet they know that that's possible for them because of the steps she took.
Right.
And it's the same for us. Even if we're not in a position of presidency, we still open up doors and leave footsteps for somebody else. So your silence is strength, but at the same time, your testimony and your story is to help somebody else, which is just as strong as being silent.
No, that's good. I love what you said. You know, you made me think about, like you said, if Ms. Harris never stepped up, like you're saying, and didn't take these steps to position herself to even qualify for this space right now, you know, another little girl would never know that it's possible. And it's, you know, key that representation matters. You know, representation matters. A lot of us, I remember growing up, we didn't know that we could be a doctor or we could be a lawyer or we could be any of those things because we did not see people that looked like us in those positions. And it's not, and there may have been some, but they were not up front. They were not put into the light. So, you know, we did not know that that was an option, or it felt like it's an option, but it's not doable. So representation matters. And you know, there's a difference in being silent and being asleep. You know, when you're silent, you're still aware. You know, you're choosing how to use your power, whether to speak or not to speak in a particular moment. You know, but when you sleep, again, you're just unaware, you're unattentive. You are not cognizant of what's going on around you. But sometimes we as women, we are sleeping on things that we really have to begin to open up our mouths and be more vocal about. I hope everyone is enjoying the conversation so far. I'm going to ask you to like, to subscribe, and to share. And please feel free to put your comments in the chat as to what you think and what you feel about what happens when sleeping women wake, mountains move. For me, I found that what happens, and we're good, happy to see you, ND. So glad you got it together and you're here now. So we can't wait to hear from you. But I want to say, for me, what happens when we're silent, I've found that my silence has been more detrimental in some cases than it would have been better if I spoke up. It would have been better if I lent my opinion or my thoughts or my knowledge to a conversation or to an issue. A lot of times we hold back because we don't want the attention that comes with what we're about to say. But I've learned, as you said, in Kingdom, one of the things that I've learned is I don't have the right to remain silent anymore because someone's life could be hanging on to what it is that I have to say. What I have to say might be what makes the difference in a person's life, whether it's to encourage them, whether it is to lift them up, whether it is to inspire, whether it is to correct, whether it is to give instruction. But a lot of times we are sitting on knowledge and we're not sharing it because sometimes we're afraid to. I know I've been in that space again, but I've learned that I don't have the right at this point in life to be silent, because there's too many things that are going on in the world for us to continue to sit and be quiet. And a lot of times these things are still going on in the world because no one is speaking up. You know, so we as women have to learn how to be vocal even more, but in the right way. Come on, jump in, ND. Tell us what your thoughts and your feelings are about when you first saw the topic for tonight of when sleeping women wake, mountains move.
Well, first, hi sisters. Hi sisters.
Hi,
hi sisters. I miss you guys. I am so exhausted. Let me tell you. After this. I'm going I'm going underneath the bed.
We all going.
But that's the life of an entrepreneur. I realize.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm at a crossroads. I think yes, we have been silent for a very, very long time. I am so in agreement that we probably have missed our mark throughout life. However, the problem that I'm facing with us finding our voice is that some of us are speaking from a place that one, we've not come through, we've not been delivered from, that we're not speaking from a positive connotation. We're speaking from a place of, I'm going to get you back because you got me. Some of us are speaking from a lack of intellect and knowledge. We're just speaking based on fifth and sixth hand information, ain't even second hand. It's like fifth and sixth hand information, and you put your spin on it. And I think that has caused us to have this conversation because we now have to discern what we're hearing. Is it that does it have any validity? And is it applicable to my life? And how is it, or is it detrimental to an already critical situation? I was listening. I caught bits and pieces of Lady Deshawn's comment when she asked that question. So was it your aunt about what she wanted to do with her life? Was it?
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because based on the era of when you asked that question, I think the goal was what she said, to be a wife. That was the objective. That was the voice. That was what was echoing from what the didactics of who we was, to be a wife. That was our identity. That was what we were. That's what we were striving for. That's what we were, to become somebody's wife. That is what validated us. And even if we look at it from a biblical context, that is what it was historically. Like, you wasn't classified as anything if you didn't have any type of covering. You didn't have a husband. Case in. You didn't have a husband. You didn't have a father. If you was out there, you had no identity. And now you're saying, now that point was, well, let me get a husband. Let's fast forward to today, baby. Can we fast forward to today? That is not. So the conversation is, we got all these conversations about there are no good women, there are no good men. Can somebody just help me with that? Is that not the conversation that is floating through this air? There's no good men,
and it is on overkill. That is right. It.
So we went from I need to be a wife to now there are no good men. Yeah. All men are dogs. Men are saying, where's the women who pack the lunches? Come on here and give the back rubs. But we want a voice. I mean, I'm just saying, I think we need to pick a side. We need to, and I said this before, and I think we had another room like this when I kept saying, pick a side. We got to pick a side. Mm-hmm. We have women, we got the church women who feel to be a wife. That is it. You have arrived. Once you're a pastor's wife, a bishop's wife, you have arrived. Well, that's a whole nother topic of
another show.
Another show, because we got a pastor's wife here on.
Listen, because I beg to differ.
I'm waiting to see her in a polyester suit with one of them big hats on. I am waiting for it.
Listen, sis, you're not gonna see me in a hat or polyester suit with rhinestones and the glitter.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm waiting for it because it's a coming. It's a coming.
It's ain't. And it'll be the day Jesus come back.
And Jesus, he here, girl. He here. So we have that. And then we got the women where they tell us that, yeah, we got a voice. And, you know, I am woman. Here I am. I don't need a man. I could do it by myself. You know, I could raise my kids. I can bring home the bacon. I can buy me a rose petal. I really don't need no husband. I don't need no man to do it because I'm making more money than he is anyway. And then we have the women who say, well, you know what? I don't want to do it by myself. I've done it by myself for a long time. And now I want somebody to share this walk with. And I think there's so many voices out here that the problem is we don't know which one we need to listen to.
And everything you said is good. You know, you brought up a lot of great points. And before I respond, just want to say good evening to Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. Thank you for being here and joining us on tonight. Good to see you. Also, my sis Taryn Thomas is in the house, the good elder. She said lampshade hat. She is hollering off of that. And Anitra also commented to piggyback a little further back. She said, I love that. We are not going alone. I had made a reference to the fact that, you know, a lot of us, when we wake up, we have to understand that we can't be afraid to move forward in what we're called to or what you want to do, because you may be the first, but you won't be the only, and you're not going alone because people will come behind you. Everybody's at different points. And Deshaun said, listen, y'all, I am not that first lady. This is not... that bone. And we not mad at you. We ain't mad at you, sis. But indeed, you know, you made very great and valid points. And I think that this is it also lends to the point of women, sleeping women, when we wake up. We have to wake up to the things that are within, wake up to what you really want. You know, we sit back and we hold back so much and we ignore a lot. Like you said, pick a side. And when you pick a side, own that side. You know, be willing to own it. This is what I want. This is who I am. And then go after it. Don't just acknowledge it, but go after it. And you made another valid point about, you know, us going from being silent to us now speaking, but the content of what is being said, you know, and the place from which we are speaking. You know, when we do wake up to life, and when we do wake up to, you know, our purpose, you know, what are we speaking? You know, what are you saying? You know, what is the position of your heart that you know, you are now springing, because words are life, and words can be death. You know, you can bring something to life, or you can kill something just by your words. You know, and we can't be mad that when, if we have been asleep for a long time, you can't be mad at someone else who decided to wake up to who they are and go after it, you know, and pursue it. So you make very, very good and valid points. And I appreciate and thank you for adding them to the conversation. I'm so glad to hear you. It's been a long time. I feel like a long time since we've been on the ladies' room, just us girls talking. So let's not be shot tonight.
I know it has been. It's been a minute.
It has. There's some comments here I want to make sure that we are reading. Anitra, my kin says things move and shift when sleeping women wake up. That's right. Imagine the impact. Okay, so the impact that we have when we come alive, and that's really what waking up. When sleeping women wake, when you come alive, think of the impact that you have to the people around you. We're not all called to the same people. And we're not all called to speak the same language. So when you stay asleep to who you are and to what you're called to, there's the people that's going unserved. There's someone that's not getting help. I know we've all had different influences in our lives, but if you could think of the one person who influenced you the most, what if they stayed silent? Or what if they stayed asleep? What if they never put their best foot forward? Where would that have left us? Where would we be, you know, uninfluenced? So it's important because it's not just riding on us, but it's someone else's. We're carrying someone else with us in our own journey. Anisha also says, Lady Dawn just hit something. Our presence is our power. Awakening is not just about speaking. It's also simply our presence has been awakened. Yeah, we got to wake up to who we are. Sometimes just showing up. You know, your presence makes a big difference in places. you know, and Dee travels a lot preaching. Her presence, just showing up, you know, when she's teaching, your presence, just showing up. Some people are just need the company, not so much the company, just need the comfort, excuse me, of your presence. But if you stay, exactly, just seeing you walking sometimes might be the encouragement someone needs. But if we stay asleep and keep discounting ourselves, you know, people not the world's not gonna get nowhere. It's not gonna get any better. Alonzo says, my wife earns more than me. She's a salaried employee. I'm all commission sales. She has never used her earnings to invalidate my masculinity. All right now, sir, I'm not mad at her. Salute to her, and nor should we ever use those things, you know, to ever demasculate a man. 15 years strong. Go ahead, brother. I'm not mad at you. Okay, I'm trying to keep a pair of shoes. Maybe not 15 years, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to. That's another show too.
I got pocketbooks a little bit at that long. I got some. I actually do got a couple of pair of shoes at that. But I did pay a nice piece of change for them.
You know,
to like dry ride. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. But I would like to have one of the shoe in the bank for 15 years. You know, I would like to have something else I can show.
I agree. I think I want to just say, based on even as you were recanting what I said, I think that the greatest thing about us finding our voice is so imperative, but finding our voice in a space where we are prepared to face our insecurities, our fears, our stumbling blocks. That's where this comes to a complete halt, because everybody got something to say, but right. No one wants to speak the truth, because in me sounding so profound, that is great, but am I speaking to the issue and concerns of someone who's looking to hear my voice? Am I prepared to be the woman who cannot find her voice or doesn't know how to find her voice? Am I all right with being the woman that says, listen, I'm still struggling. I got some stuff going on with me. And the truth of the matter is, I really wanted to bust that Negro head to the white meat the other day. And I had to think about it for a second, because I had to count the cost of the fact that I may not be able to get my hair and my nails done. I may not be able to go to my favorite place for breakfast. I just may not think that I want to become the new orange is now my new favorite color. I mean, we need to find our voice, but we need to understand that comes with a price. And a lot of people don't want to pay the price. They just want to tap the surface. And the problem is that we keep going around this mountain, that all we're doing is digging a hole, and it looks like we're getting closer to the top. But the reality is that we're digging a hole and the mountain's becoming higher for us because we keep going lower. Did I say that right? I think I said that right.
You did. You know, and you're right. You know, and you're right. And that's like I said, pick a side. And it is not even just about using your voice, because a lot of us want to talk, but we don't want to act. You know, and we have to be able to talk and act. We have to be willing to talk and act and move. You know, now that you're awake, now that you've woken up to who you are, now that you're embracing the essence of you and your purpose, the journey doesn't end there. You know, that's when it begins. You know, you should feel empowered. You should feel strength. You should be ready to take on the world and whatever that area is. So we can't just talk about it. You know, we should talk and let that talk be what empowers us to move forward. I want to read some comments, and I want to shout out Anitra in a second. Alonzo said, not sure if my comment even has anything to do with the topic. Sorry, Alonzo, your comment, you can comment whatever you want, sir, on anything that anyone says, okay? So, right, you don't be scared, right? This is the safe place. You are fine. And well, yes, your comment did have something to do with the conversation. You were making the point, along with like what Dr. ND was saying, you know, about how we used to want one thing, but now as women, we're in a position where, you know, we make money, we have a house, we have a car, we have this, we have that. What do we need men for? And I think that in those instances, when we wake up in that way, it can be very negative because everybody needs somebody. And for as much as I may have my own house, I may have my own car, I got, you know, I can take care of myself. There's still some things that, you know, I still require the male presence for. So I do not subscribe to that. I don't need a man, you know, I'm going to say tomfoolery. And even if you don't need a man, you should want one. Okay. You should want one because you should want one. I mean, to each his own. I'm just saying. But for this girl over here, yeah, I'm a want that. I'm gonna need that. Anitra also says there's power in presence. Show up in our authenticity and authority. Exactly. And we want to shout out Anitra for giving a super chat on tonight. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate the support. Hoping that you're liking, subscribing, and sharing to the channel on tonight. And you can lend your support to this network and help keep us moving along with the support in the super chats on tonight. Let's see what else we have here, because I have 2 questions. We're not going to be long tonight, but we're going to be strong. You know, it's been that kind of day. Pastor Chris says, wait, what? Dr. Indy said, no nails, they know. He's cutting up per usual, messing with you. Let's see. And then Alonzo says she needs me to squash bugs. Sir, that's a whole ministry by yourself. I am not mad at that. Okay. Yes, not mad. I'm not. And amen. Okay. All right. We need you for that too. Okay. We appreciate you. I appreciate you on behalf of your wife. All right. Yes. Bug squashers and all. So there is that. Anisha says, come on, ladies. Talk about it. So there's power in your voice, women. So when we wake up, we're not at a time where we can afford to stay sleeping on who we are. We're at a time where we cannot afford to fall into a space of depression or self-doubt and remain asleep thinking that you cannot do the thing that you desire to do. It is all about getting it done now. There's nothing that you can't do. We are limitless, actually. But there is power in your voice. So I want to ask this question to the ladies on tonight as well. We're talking about when sleeping women wake. Women, when you wake up to who you are, the other part of the proverb says mountains move. When you wake up, you ever see a woman who is like super determined to get it done? A woman who is driven, a woman who does not take no for an answer. She's not having it. She's not tolerating it. She's not letting the world tell her what she can't be, but she gonna make sure she defies all the odds. Those are the kind of women that we need to be and become and continue to become, because what happens when that giant in you wakes up from that sleep? She coming out to move some stuff out the way. I mean, get right down ignorant about it if you have to, you know. But it's so important because there's so many things that have been laid on top of what women should be, what we are supposed to be, what people think that we're not. You know, thinking that we're only supposed to be timid or for the kitchen. You know, we're only good to be an assistant, not the owner. You know, it's time to wake up the giant within and start moving. Because when we get up, I don't know about you, but when I get up and I get to the point when the giant in me woke up, baby, it was all gas, no brakes, and it's still all gas, no brakes. You know, behind that, for me, that put me in a position where I kicked off, you know, co-authoring 6 books. I wasn't playing no more. I got my outreach ministry up and going, you know, certified by the state. Like, you know, we legit and for real, we not playing. What happened? I ended up on this broadcast, this podcast for the last 2 years because the giant in me woke up. We get to a place that we are tired of being tired, and you become tired of being less than. And when you get to the end of yourself, and it wasn't no more about me talking about what I was going to do. I started working in silence and letting my success speak, and started moving those other mountains out of my way. Anitra said she's tired of pumping her own gas. Girl, listen, I'm tired of it too. Sometimes you got to do it, but you know it's
That's
nice
the
when you
ghetto
have.
ministry right there.
Listen, it's nice when that goes along with the bug squasher, but it's nice when you have a man with you who can do it for you. So I don't have to do it as often. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll be, you know, the girly about it. Just go do your thing. But I want to ask you, ladies, and I want you to share, you know, your thoughts and feelings. But my question is, now that we talked about our silence and our sleeping, we talked about the power of our voice and us being mindful of what we're saying when we do speak. I want to ask, what happens when we speak? Do we understand what happens when we speak? Come on, MD, because I see you laughing. I see. Oh, hold on. Before you do, let me find out here. We got Pastor Chris the Summers voice. He done set us off with a super chat on tonight. Yes, sir. Come on, keep them coming. He says, honestly, women have been woke. But can you still take a woke woman when a man is moving reawakened? I gotta rest on that. I'm gonna think on that. But come on, ND. I'm gonna think on that. I'm gonna respond. Y'all think on it too. Kenny, okay.
Is he talking about when a man is moving towards being reawakened? Is that what he's trying to say? Because the word structure is going to make a determination on what the response is.
He said, "You got it.
You got it. You got it.
You know your brother.
I know my brother. So let me start by that. I think that all depends on the woman, and that depends on the man. I think that depends on the mindset of the individual. And based on the culture that we in, I think that the problem is that the woman, some women, I'm not going to say all women, some women have become so woke that they don't want to be with someone who has figured out that they've been reawoken, that they're in the stage of being reawoken. They're in the stage of being reawoken, and they're realizing that what they were was not what they wanted to be, and they're striving for better. I think that the comments that I'm hearing, because I deal a lot with singles, I'm hearing women saying that they don't want a possibility. They want what it is. And sometimes we miss out on something because we are so focused on what we think it should be. I'd rather have someone who has a determination to make it than someone who thinks that they've already arrived. Because if he's already there, that means that there's no place left to go. If he's already believed that he has accomplished and acquired everything, there's no need for me to be there, because that's the whole purpose of dreaming. Dreaming is what that is. It's because your dreams are going to change. Your end destination is going to, you're going to change what that's going to look like. But the end, the final end is the end. But the destinations along the way to the end are going to change. I may have been at one point hooked on going back to South Korea. That was it. But now I'm pushing because I think I want to go to Thailand. I don't think I want to go back to South Korea. I've experienced it. I've lived in it. I think I want to go to Thailand. I want to experience that particular side of the culture. That doesn't mean that I want, but I want something different. So I think that depends on the mindset of the man. And I also think that it all depends on the mindset. Let me say it this way. It depends on the mindset and the maturity of both individuals. Of them deciding what is going to work for them. Because sometimes when you've struggled all your life and you get to a point in your head, someone who's not where you are is a struggle. Which brings me back to my original point. We've not addressed some of our stuff, but we want to be heard saying something, but nothing is happening. Because again, I say that if you learn to listen, you'll hear the truth of an individual. It won't take you long to figure out if a Negro ain't got no goals and no agenda. You won't have to waste time. I think we spend a lot of time hoping and thinking on the possibility based on a false narrative. And that's because we wasn't listening, nor were we paying attention. We were just happy to have a warm body who smelled good and looked good in person, but had no personality in private. That's a whole nother. I felt God shift on that one. My God. But let me Let me get myself together because that one did something to me on the inside because I lived that. I did live that. Somebody who looked good outside but had no personality on the inside. And I mean, not on the, I'm talking about inside the house when it was just us. There was no personality, which made me struggle. But that's another conversation for another day. But I will say, I'm trying to get out of that space right there. You said when we wake up. Okay, that's what because I had to write it down. I gotta write stuff down now because I'm.
All right. We could if you need a minute, we could let Lady Deshawn come in and jump in.
I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to get out of that space.
Take your time. Take your time. Come on, Lady Deshawn.
Oh, I got so stuck on Pastor Chris and his question that I completely forgot what the original question was.
Listen, he's chatting it got another super chat going on tonight. And he says, being a woke woman, what does that truly look like?
So here's the thing with finding your voice, with finding your voice as a woman, it doesn't mean that you're so woke or you're so put together that you have your nose in the air and you're looking down at everybody else, or you're putting men in a position where they feel like their manhood is being challenged. Being woke means that you finally come to a point where you understand who you are as a woman. You understand what your desires and your dreams are. You understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. You understand how you can be a better woman and how you fit into society, how you fit into your family. You understand how you fit into the kingdom of God. You understand how you fit into your relationship, whatever that relationship status may be. It doesn't mean that you're better than anyone. It doesn't mean that you have everything together either. But it also means that you've done the work and you understand the responsibility that comes with your voice, because your voice is going to make things happen. When you've figured out who you are, you can walk into a room that's intended for you and come out and there be purposeful conversations that is going to propel you into your next, and people around you will be blessed because you walked into the room. It doesn't mean that you know who you are, so you're tearing people down at all, by far, and especially in a relationship, because the thing about relationships is that they go in cycles. Most relationships, especially healthy relationships, go in cycles where I may have everything figured out for this season and I know what I'm doing and I'm on go, right? And then once I get to my goal and my partner may still be trying to figure out what his next is, we're going to walk through that together. But guess what? Once the tables turn, I'm now trying to figure out what my next is and where do I go from here, and he's on go. So now I'm supporting him. I'm encouraging him, just like he did me when he was trying to figure out what his next was. We go in cycles and we move together, and you move on one accord. But like in Dr. Brown said, that takes maturity. That takes two people that are willing to encourage and be there for each other. And it also takes two people who understand who they are. And you don't feel like you're being left behind because she's on go, because she's found her rhythm and she's doing and moving and going. And when it's the other way around and you're encouraging, you don't feel like, you're less than because he's on go. And now it's your time to encourage, your time to strengthen, your time to speak positive words and help him in that season. Being woke doesn't mean that you have it all together. It means that you understand who you are and you understand the impact that you have on others and how you impact their lives.
That's good. That's good, Lady Deshawn. I would say, in answer to Pastor Chris's question, what does a woke woman truly look like? I believe she looks like a woman who has come alive. Who's come alive to who she is, who is self-aware, who is conscious of what's in her, who is mentally prepared to go after all the things that she wants, who understands. When you are woke to something, it means you are aware, like you have examined all of, I am fully aware of all the nuances, consequences, the ins and outs. I'm up now. I'm up now. I know who I am. When a woman is woke, you can't tell me that I'm nothing. You can't tell me that I'm less than. You can't tell me that I can't do something. And I know I keep referring to that, but I barely believe that when we wake up to who we are, we have a whole different attitude. You rise in a whole different way. You become like that phoenix rising from the ashes, and you have become, because you're up now. A woke woman will not allow anything to bring her down ever again, because some of us have been sleeping so long, and time is something that we cannot get back. And when you think of the time that you wasted sleeping, doubting yourself and the things that you could have accomplished, all not because anything was in your way, but all because of a thought that someone planted in you. And when you pluck that puppy up by the root, I don't know nobody else, but I got the worst attitude when I woke up. Who I was like, Negro, what? You will never tell me again that I can't. I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. I don't have to holler, but I will walk with my head up every chance I get. I may hear you, but it will not take root. If you're not speaking life to me, then you just ain't talking to me at all. Why? Because when I was sleeping, guess what? I went through some things. I went over some stuff. So a woke woman or a woke person, again, is just someone who has come alive and is self-aware and is conscious of who and what they are. And is attentive and can know what they want, won't let anyone tell them anything different. Your words are not going to dictate my direction, my purpose, or how far I'm going to go. I will use them as dust under my dirt under my feet and walk on. When you're woke, is a woman or a person who is going after when you are self-aware. To me, that's what it means when you become a woke woman. That's what that looks like. You are self-aware and you are right with what you see. I want to read 2 comments before Dr. ND. I know you, and I hope you're ready. You're ready to go now. Pastor Chris also said, I see you, sis. He said, it's all love, ladies, but someone want to know. Pastor Chris also says, after Sean, I appreciate your transparency, but in churchdom, being woke has broken the men that have been walking it upright. Your thoughts? I know this question will get Dr. ND started. Let's go. I think.
What do you mean? I'm not clear on the question.
He was
about the men that have been walking it.
Right. He's referring back to the question of being a woke woman. What does that truly look like? I think he's referring to
for a reawakened man.
Yes,
right. Referring and talking about how in the church. But I think sometimes, and I get it and I respect it, but whether we're in church or not, I think sometimes we put so much emphasis on the church because of the expectations of what we think the church is supposed to be versus what the church really is. But the church is still made up of people. So whether we're in the church or not, the person you are is going to remain the same. So until you fix the core of who you are, you're taking who you are with you everywhere you go. In church, yes, there are
men. The thing about the church. The men, I'm sorry, Dawn, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You good.
A lot of times in church setting, in church, as you call it, you don't get the real person. And I hate to say it, being a first lady in the position that I'm in, but when you're dealing with church and church folk, you don't get the real person. So you can't say that a woke woman is what's tearing these men down. Part of what's tearing the men down is because the men don't take the time to figure out who they really are behind the title that they want and who they want to be. And who they are, not just who the church says they should be or this persona that they're putting on for the church. Who are you? Who are you really? When you take off the suit on Sunday, you put the click clacks back in the closet. Who are you really? What are you really dealing with? Have you dug through that? The click clacks. When you put them back in the closet and take the hat off, what are you really dealing with? Men don't like to deal with their own issues. And sometimes it takes for them to be with the woman to help them figure that stuff out. So you can't say that a woke woman is what's tearing y'all down. That's not it. Some of that is on you too, bro.
What's that?
Come on. Did he just awaken the beast? Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Just a little bit. Because
Like,
I
come
digress. I
on,
gotta go later.
Scooby-Doo.
You woke up. Bye.
That's right.
No.
He didn't trigger the show from Detroit. That's
For real, because he went to the side. Look, Dora, she twisted to the side, put her hand on the hip. Like, she just went off to, like, what just happened?
I don't agree. I just don't agree with this.
He was like, what he said? Wait, he said church? Oh, no.
Oh, God.
What just happened?
Only on Thursday night with Dora do you get this. Welcome, y'all. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, that was the best super chat.
I learned today when Lady Deshawn turned to the side in the chair and her hand is on her hip.
Done. Straight done.
Listen.
I'm not ready. You're not ready. But let me
straight done. She was finished.
I don't even know what to say. Now I'm lost for words. And
what? So listen, Southside Dina took care of it for you. Ain't got to worry about it. She didn't.
The east side showed up today. The east side of heaven showed up.
Oh.
The south side of heaven showed
Mighty
up.
God.
The south side of heaven. Bone Thugs and Jesus showed up today.
Oh.
So
because we have to stop doing that. The problem is the church.
He said, "You know I love you." Look, we got another super chat in the house, y'all.
Listen, the click. I know, right? She said that.
Click.
I was like, what kind of new
Did she say? No, she didn't.
She said the click.
Y'all know them shiny church shoes they be wearing.
I'm so mad at you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood what the clickety clacks was, but all right, I got it.
I knew it went straight from the gate. I'm not even mad at it. That sounds like
I'm not.
Did she just take it to the click clack? Is that what she did?
I said the click. I was like, what? Is that
Deshawn took the gloves off. We did a moment of silence for that one because she just laid it down straight.
She did. So I'm gonna do my best because I don't know where I'm stuck for real, but I'm gonna do my best. So there's a few things that I think, and even what so I'm gonna start with my sister. So let me just stay there. Even I'm sorry, I had to go to the doctor. Even with the churchdom, I think that we put too much emphasis on the church, like you said, Lady Dawn, because some people will. The truth of the matter is some people will never get to the church. Some people are never going to get to the church. Some people are never going to experience what the church has to offer. So I'm going to say I kind of really don't even have a response when it comes to what the church and what the relationship perspective should look like. Because before we get to the church, we got to still deal with us. And the problem that still is on the forefront is that some of us don't want to deal with us. We sound good, we show up, but we don't want to deal with our stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to say is that this is when I think it was Anitra who said the authenticity and the authority. And those two words right there, it takes a level of maturity to be authentic. And that means that you're okay with what your truth is. And the problem is that some of us are not okay with our truth. We want to mask it up because we want to be churchdom. We want to be churchdom and we want to be worlddom. For those who are not in the church, we want to fit into the world. So we can't show up as our authentic self because that is going to make others look at us less than, which means that we don't understand the authority that lies within us about us showing up in our authenticity. In our authentic self, we don't want to embrace the fact that we got some flaws, some hiccups, and some hangups. We want to be this perfect. We want to show up as this perfect piece of paper with no wrinkles and spots in it. And so the problem again that we say, so I'm getting ready to go left because you know me, I always got to go left for a second. When we wake up. So here's the problem when we've woken up. When we woke up and we realized we had a voice, some of us were saying something that had no validity. It had no power. It did not display our authentic self, which means that we still didn't have no power. So now we had to then personify something that we were never able, we are not able to be. We can't maintain it because we don't understand the regulations of maintaining it. So we're not authentic. And most of the time, when a woman who has went through something and she wakes up, the thing that she does is she becomes silent. And she becomes silent not because she's weak. She becomes silent because she realized when she does open up her mouth, she doesn't have to say a whole lot to get her point across. She doesn't have to be long, deep, and strong. She can say a couple of words and realign the whole perspective. She can shift the atmosphere. She can redefine somebody's destiny. She can take somebody who is on life support and bring them back to life. She can tell somebody who is at the near death of saying, I just don't want to do this anymore. She can revive hope. And it's not because she was loud and strong. It was because she was silent and straight to the point. Mm-hmm. So I think that when women wake up, they don't no longer are fighting to be heard. That people are fighting to hear what they have to say.
That's good.
What I believe. Because when women wake up and they realize their authentic self, they've lived in it, they've navigated through it, they're still navigating through it, and they show up saying, listen, I ain't got it all together, and I'm not really concerned about how you might feel or look at me. I got some stuff with me, but the difference between me and you is that I know how to fight and I can survive. You know why? Because I cleaned out the skeletons in my closet. I faced the demons that were standing in front of me. I was the prodigal daughter. I thought I had it all together, and then I realized that the world that I was trying to think that I could do didn't have nothing to offer me. So I got myself together and I went back to my father's house. And there I realized that everything that I needed was already in me. What I needed didn't validate me based on what the world said. It based on the love and support of the Father, and the Father, whether you saved or not. If you really think about it, once you come to yourself and realize who you truly are, you don't gotta be loud and strong. You can be silent and powerful with minimum words. So I believe that when a woman wakes up, she no longer has to struggle to fit in, because she realized that that might not be the space that she needs to fit in. She no longer tries to be a voice around people who are deaf to hear what she has to say, because the people don't have the capacity, they don't have the mental stamina to understand whatever it is that she's saying. So why would she want to be in a space where she can't be heard with people who can't hear?
To be heard in a space with people who cannot hear. You heard it here first. On Thursday night with Lady Dylan B on the Bravo with Sheila Network. Please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have got my asthma acting up on tonight. That just took me out. I promise you it did. So many great comments in this conversation. Listen, if you're not waking up or a woke woman or going to be woke up, I don't know what you're going to be by the time this is done, said and done. Pastor Chris said there is power in the woke woman's silence. And that is true. Yeah, silence is powerful, but even just because you're quiet, and I said this in the beginning of the show, there's a difference between being silent and, being silent and being asleep. You know, when you're silent, you're still conscious, you're still cognizant of your surroundings and where you are at. You are still aware of what's going on. And when you are asleep, you're in a whole different state of mind, being you are not always attentive to the things that are around you. So yes, there is silence. There is power in the silence of a woke woman, and sometimes that silence speaks much louder than everything else. I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. It is so good, ladies. It's to encourage you to get out of your sleeping place and wake up. Excuse me, so we can start moving those mountains. My kin, Anitra of the Eighth Perspective says, when I finally woke up, I realized my flaws were okay and didn't make me less than, but it made me unique and completely qualified to be absolutely me. I agree with you 100%. Yes, ma'am. When you wake up, I've had to learn to embrace my flaws just the same. And I know that we all should. It's a journey. Sometimes it's hard for us to believe. I know I go through this sometimes. One of the things I struggle with in accepting my flaws is how people can love the things about me that I don't like. excuse me, but our flaws do make us unique. And I said we are perfectly imperfect. We have perfectly placed imperfections. You know, it's what makes us different. It's what reminds us that, you know, we are cut from the same cloth, but, you know, we might be a different stitch in the fabric of life. And it's okay to be different. We don't have to be ashamed of our flaws. We have to learn to embrace them, because even in the flaws, you find your strength. It's a part of waking up to who we are. This is who I am. This is who I am. It's not all I'm ever going to be, but this is who I am. And every day I try to wake up a little more and embrace a little bit more of me and continue to be as strong as I possibly can be for that day. Excuse me. Lady Sean had to jump off, and she sends her love and good night to everyone, but she is still hanging with us in the comments a little bit. She says, when you're woke, you owe no one nothing. Not an explanation or a slice of understanding, because I was there for the fight that you missed. Listen here. Don't start no more. Be the look now. You done got ND. She just calms herself down.
How you gonna make a statement like that and not be on the chat?
Right.
Like how you drop all of that and then just gonna be in the chat mode?
Right.
What that mean? What's happening with you tonight? What is going on with you tonight?
She woke. That's what happened. She moving mountains because she woke. Let's see. Anitra says, I love this conversation. Pastor Krista is not 8:30 yet. Tell me, it's because you know at 8:30, y'all, something happens at 8:30. We trying to behave tonight.
We're not gonna be on 8:30 because I'm tired. I think I said enough tonight as it is.
We gonna wrap it up early tonight. We gonna wrap it up early tonight. I told you we got off to a late start, and the conversation got hot. So you know, excuse me.
At the end of the day, I do believe this. I think that when a woman is woke, when she finally wakes up, because some of them are still sleeping, some are sleepwalking, honestly. And I'm sure that, you know, a lot of women be like, you not for women. You don't have, I do, because I'm a woman. I've always been a woman. My sex hasn't changed. My struggle hasn't changed. I'm a woman, but I've also have obtained wisdom. I've also sought wisdom. I've also had to change my position of how I look at life. How life has, I've had to forgive how life has treated me. I've had to forgive how life has treated me based on decisions that I made. So I had to forgive life, which means I had to forgive me based on decisions that I made. And sometimes we want to be loud and strong, and many of us are loud, strong, and lonely. Loud, strong, and lonely. And the problem with that is that we keep saying that we want a husband, and we've dealt with our trauma, and we've dealt with our stuff. But if we can really be honest, there's still some things that has yet to be uncovered, because you're not in a place of maturity to handle the responsibility of navigating the healing and working process to truly be healed. So we think we're over it, but the truth of the matter, we are not. We've not dealt with all of our stuff, because the longer you live, there's so much stuff behind you that you've lived. So some things you have forgotten, and they don't come into perspective until life happens. And then you realize, like, oh my God, there's something I got to deal with this. And now you're in the middle of something and you have to make a decision. Now you got to wake up. How am I going to deal with this? Am I going to deal with this with a level of maturity, or am I going to act like a pure D fool? If I'm going to yell and kick and scream, or am I going to start with some self-reflection? Let me start with me first, because before I could persecute the world, I got to see if I had something to do with this, or if I was an innocent bystander, because that's going to dictate how I navigate this. And I think it's important for us to say, you know what? You know, I want to be woke. Some people are never going to get woke. And like Lady Dawn said, I remember when Lady Dawn was sitting in the cut and she wasn't doing nothing. I remember.
Yes,
I knew
ma'am.
her win. So to know her win, and then to see her now is an amazing, amazing unraveling. It is a painting that has now that you're starting to see the intricate details of the painting. And here's the caveat: the painting is not finished. It's still being done. So every time you look at it, ooh, Lord, I love you, God. Every time you look at it, you see something different because it's not completed yet. And that's what most of us are. We are an exclusive piece of artwork. And because it takes so long to create a priceless piece of art, you will take years to paint it. Michelangelo and Picasso did not do their paintings overnight. It took them time to paint those pictures, the Mona Lisa, it took them time, years probably, to get the painting exactly what it needed to be. They had to determine what type of paint was going to be used, what type of painting background they were going to use. The atmosphere had to be right. There was all of these things, and they weren't as advanced as we was. Do you know how long it probably took Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel in Italy? We don't know, but we know one thing: that had to take years. However, with each part that was done, it revealed another part of the beauty that was yet to be completely revealed. And that is who we are in the process of us being wake. And even when we wake, we are still a painting that is yet to be yet to disclose the true beauty of it. And when it is done, the people who relish the painting will look at it in awe, and everybody that looks at it will walk away with a different perspective of what that painting is supposed to look like. I'm done for the night.
Listen, I think we all done for the night. You wrapped that up so beautifully and eloquently. Excuse me. And personally, Taryn Thomas, my sis, she says, stay in the process, like you were talking about. Yes, stay in the process. It's so important that we do that, that you stay it. Don't get off until you reach your final destination. Stay in the process. It is worth the journey, the trip that you're going to take, the things that you're going to lose, stuff that will fall off, but the things that you're going to gain by staying in the process until the end is going to be so much more valuable than what you think you're losing while you're going through it. So Dr. ND, thank you so much. Again, I really cannot find anything to say to put a period on this conversation anymore than what you have already expressed. Pastor Chris says the power was in the caveat. Yes, and yes, for those who don't know, Dr. ND and I have been sister friends, we want to call it, for a long time. We met at a very integral crossroad, and it wasn't even a crossroad, I think it was a standstill. And like she said at the time, she knows where I was. She knows where I was. And that's why I said earlier, when you wake up and come into the knowledge of who you are, when you come alive and stop letting the one word, you find out again that there's really nothing in your way but a word. That is it. It's just a word, someone else, an outside word that was spoken to you that sometimes puts us to sleep from who we are and what we're supposed to do. But women, when the gift in you, or when the giant in you wakes up, know that there is no mountain that is in your way that cannot be moved. It is impossible. And why? Because you're not going to stop until it moves. And truth be told, when people see you wake up, some people will move mountains out of your way that you will never even have to touch. I'm just saying, because they will see who you really are. Excuse me, because as it was said earlier, you're showing up as your authentic self in the authority that is you. Anitra says, amazing conversation and so many takeaways. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. It is our joy and our pleasure. Hey, ladies and balloon fielders in the house on tonight. So glad you popped in. Please catch the replay for those of you who were not able to catch us from the beginning. But I do want to thank everyone for being here on tonight. It's been a minute since we have had just the ladies together. And so it is good that we were able to be here for whatever time that we were here. I absolutely love and appreciate my girls. Dr. N.D. Brown, you know she is amazing in her own right. And Lady Deshawn Beal, she is amazing in her own right. Y'all done triggered her and brought the south side of Detroit out tonight in her. That was it for me. That in the click clack. I said, my God, I'm no good. So I want to again thank you so much, everyone, for being in the building. Thank you for joining us on tonight. The ladies' room will be back again. We have an amazing August coming up for you. We have the men's lounge. We're going to have the Meet the Author segment. We're going to end the month in the summer with the open mic night. So I hope y'all will come in and join us. And if you want to be a part of the open mic night, that's just reading poetry, sharing a part of your a book, whatever your gift is, just reach out, let me know. But I want to wish you all a great good evening. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Make sure to tune in on Mondays at 7 p.m. for Mondays Beyond the Mic with my HG sisters, my Harlem Girls family. They are on here. Make sure that you go across the street to the ministry channel, Sheila Ingram Ministries, and catch all the good word that goes on over there. So again, I want to thank you all for being here on tonight. I pray the conversation has been great. Dr. ND, ladies of the ladies room, I hope that Lady Rhonda and Anitra and Lady Ginger will join us. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. Have a great, great evening. And we are out. Have a great night. Happy Thursday.
Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the kick rock, skipping the coach, squares like hopscotch. This gotta be my mood to my beat.